And he came running up to me all excited and said, "Look, Dad, I'm in youth ministry too." So I said, "Great, son, you don't make any money either." Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Clay's Corner. And this is the second part in my little 2-part mini-series on fatherhood. Thank you so much for your kind feedback and kind words from yesterday's Clay's Corner, where I talked about my late father, Larry. And for today's part 2, I'm going to be talking about my own kids and what it means to be a father to them. I had a wonderful Father's Day. Thank you for asking. I got to sleep in a little bit. We went to Mass at St. Paul's. Then we went for some all-you-can-eat sushi for lunch. Came home to take it easy before watching Warriors-Cavs Game 7 NBA Finals. And then we went to the Zone with St. Paul's Life Teen Youth Ministry for the annual Father's Day bowling. It was an absolutely wonderful day, and I was so blessed to spend it with all 3 of my kids, Sean, Jake, and Kayla, and Gail, of course. She's not one of my kids, though. She's my wife. And it was great to be present with them, especially after all the traveling that I've been doing over the past 3 weeks, even though both boys kicked my butt in bowling. Yesterday, I talked a bit about how I see my dad in all 3 of our kids. And needless to say, I see a lot of me in all 3 of our kids. That would make sense because I'm their dad. And you've probably heard the saying, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. That is, when someone imitates you, it's because they want to be like you and they are likely flattering you. Well, if that's the case, then my kids flatter me to no end. And thus, I want to share with you a few examples of how our kids imitate me, good, bad, or ugly. Sean is similar to me in many ways. He's a very competitive athlete. Believe it or not, I was actually athletic back in the day. And he's a confident public speaker. He also has some of the most inappropriate dance moves in the Lower Mainland. And one story that I love to share is when Sean was 6 or 7 years old, he came running downstairs all excited. He was wearing a youth ministry t-shirt. He was wearing a cross around his neck, a bracelet around his wrist probably. And he came running up to me all excited and said, "Look, Dad, I'm in youth ministry too." So I said, "Great, son, you don't make any money either." Just kidding. Actually, not really. But I was proud that Sean understood what I did for a living, and he seemed to know what I was passionate about. Jacob looks and acts exactly like I did when I was 12 years old. So please pray for him. He has a great sense of humor. He's very social. He's got some good musical talent. And like me, he's a very frustratingly picky eater. And we are both clumsy. And we have the same penchant for dropping things on the ground, especially ourselves. Although Jake has racked up way more injuries in his 12 years than I have in my 41 years. My worst injury was a couple stitches in my eyelid after I took a hockey stick, a backhand, to the face. And it basically sliced across the side of my face, and I ended up getting 2 stitches right here, and I think I have a scar somewhere up here. Jake has not only had stitches in his forehead, but he's broken his nose, and he's broken his arm. And then there's Kayla. She's playful, she's full of energy, and she loves to be the life of the party, just like her dad. Unfortunately, she's extremely messy, just like her dad, and already has her dad's attention-seeking tendencies. Kayla is very comfortable being a leader and bossy at such a young age. Just like me back in the day, you can often find her and hear her in the school playground, directing people, explaining rules, and barking out instructions to anyone in the general vicinity. And one other story about Sean before I forget. Many years ago, our good friends Andrea and Vidal were over, and they were basically saying how much Sean was like me. And they said, he looks like you, he acts like you, he talks like you, he dresses like you, he moves like you. He's a mini Clay. So then, of course, I was proud, right? It's like, I don't know why I did that, but that's my firstborn son. Very proud. Until Sean pulled down his pants and ran around the kitchen screaming in his underwear. I humbly decline comment. Regardless of good, bad, or ugly, I know that I'm not always the best example to our kids. For that example, we need to look towards another father, another loving father, and that is, of course, God the Father. And in imitating God and Jesus Christ the Son, that's our challenge as Christians, to be the face of Christ to everyone we encounter. I would love it if people would walk away from meeting our kids thinking things like, "Man, why is Sean so grounded and such a good older sibling? I want some of that." Or, "Why is Jake so joyful and so full of life? I wish I was like that." Or why is Kayla so playful or so generous and so loving? I want some of that. Whether our family and friends are churched or unchurched, how we carry ourselves, who we are, along with what we say and what we do, that is the truest form of evangelization. And now that I think about it, it's more than being the face of Christ. It's about being Christ-like completely to everyone that we encounter. Compliments like, you're a great musician, or you're a wonderful athlete, or you're so kind, or you're good looking, or you have a great haircut, those pale in comparison to the one that says, you were Christ to me. You were Christ to me. That's the best thing that someone could say to you. And it's more than what you say or what you do. It's about who you are. And that's what the essence of being a good Christian is. It's about being. It's not about doing. After all, we are indeed called human beings and not human doings. I started off by saying that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Well, my friends, Jesus Christ does not need to be flattered, but he does need to be imitated. I pray that we all imitate Christ in what we say, in what we do, and most importantly, in who we are. Thanks for watching. I invite you to like or share this video, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. God bless. See you next time in the corner.